If you're trying to keep up with digital marketing this week, you're in the right place. I'm JB from Belmore Digital, and this is your digital update for Monday, the 1st June 2026. First day of winter in Australia. For our Northern Hemisphere friends, yes, we do have winter. It's just considerably less dramatic. Google's favourite children, a favicon here, a favicon there. OpenAI finds the money. The most useful skill is still judgment. YouTube wants to have a chat. Platforms are becoming stronger gatekeepers, while marketers have less control than they used to. One thing before we get going, my Digital Trends 2026 report is out now. It's free, and it's written for people who make serious marketing decisions. No filler, no padding. Grab it via the link in the description. Full post on belmoredigital.com, full video on the Belmore Digital YouTube channel. Drop me a follow if you want more of this in your feed, and get in touch if any of it landed close to home. Google's favourite children. Trust has quietly become one of the biggest battlegrounds in search. Google is expanding its preferred sources feature into AI overviews and AI mode, allowing users to nominate publishers they'd like surfaced more often inside AI-generated answers. At the same time, Google's latest preferred sources update includes more visible publisher attribution and additional article carousels. None of this is accidental. Google knows publishers are nervous, and users are starting to question where AI answers come from. If you're publishing content, you should pay attention. Search used to reward relevance and authority. Now platforms are increasingly deciding which authorities deserve visibility inside generated responses. Similar idea, different power dynamic. What interests me most is Google's willingness to acknowledge the source question at all. For years, search was largely about finding the best answer. Now the source itself is becoming part of the product. That shift matters because brands that people recognize may end up with advantages that rankings alone can't provide. If your organic visibility has become harder to predict, it may be time to look beyond rankings and focus on authority. Our SEO services and geo services help businesses build long-term search visibility. Happy to have a chat if you're seeing unusual changes in search performance. Get in touch to discuss this with me, or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. A favicon here, a favicon there. The smallest interface changes often tell you the most. Google is testing a search layout that gives site names and favicons greater prominence above listings. On its own, the change feels fairly insignificant. Nobody's changing their marketing strategy because a favicon moved a few pixels. But Google's smallest interface experiments often reveal what it wants users to notice next. You might be tempted to ignore this sort of thing. Most businesses do. But Google rarely changes interfaces without a reason. If branding elements become more visible, Google is signaling that recognition matters. The wider pattern is hard to miss. Search results continue moving away from being a list of blue links and towards something closer to a curated interface. If people know your brand before they search, you'll probably benefit. If they don't, life gets a bit harder. That's one reason our digital marketing strategy work often covers brand visibility as well as traffic generation. The click matters. Being recognized before the click matters too. Get in touch to discuss this with me, or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. OpenAI finds the money. Well, that didn't take long. OpenAI is reportedly preparing conversion-focused advertising campaigns inside ChatGPT, giving advertisers access to performance objectives and tracking integrations. Details from OpenAI's planned ad offering suggest the platform wants to move beyond awareness and into measurable business outcomes. Nobody should be surprised by this. Attention attracts advertising the way a barbecue attracts flies. The amusing part is watching parts of the industry behave shocked every time a platform with millions of users decides it would like revenue. Apparently, we still enjoy pretending these companies are charities. If you're a marketer, the real question isn't whether AI platforms will run ads. They will. The question is whether they become meaningful acquisition channels or simply another place to spend budget chasing the next shiny thing. I'm not sure yet. Both outcomes remain possible. For now, keep your attention on performance rather than novelty. Our PPC management and conversions and CRO services help businesses evaluate new channels without getting carried away by platform hype. Get in touch to discuss this with me, or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. The most useful skill is still judgment. A slightly uncomfortable truth surfaced this week. While everyone's rushing to learn the latest AI tools, the real skill gap isn't technical. It's judgment. AI can help produce content, but it still can't tell you whether sending that email is a good idea in the first place. If you've spent time around marketing conferences recently, you'll know this isn't a fashionable opinion. Every second presentation seems to promise AI mastery. Yet most struggling email programs aren't failing because someone can't write a prompt. They're failing because nobody has worked out what customers actually want to receive. That's why I'm cautious about the current obsession with production speed. Creating twice as much content doesn't automatically improve results. In practice, it often just creates twice as much content. If your email marketing feels busy but underwhelming, the issue may sit upstream. Our email marketing services focus on planning, segmentation, and customer journeys, not just sending more emails. Get in touch to discuss this with me or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. YouTube wants to have a chat. The line between search and recommendations keeps getting blurrier. YouTube is experimenting with a feature that allows users to describe what they want to watch and receive customized content suggestions. It's another step towards platforms interpreting requests, rather than simply responding to clicks and views. If you create content, this is worth watching. People are becoming less likely to browse categories and more likely to describe intent. Platforms then interpret those requests and decide what deserves attention. The interesting part isn't the feature itself. The interesting part is how quickly every platform is moving in the same direction. Search engines want conversations. Recommendation engines want conversations. Before long, everything online may start looking suspiciously similar. Video remains one of the better ways to build familiarity with an audience regardless of how discovery changes. Our content marketing services can help if you're looking to develop a content strategy that works beyond this month's platform update. Get in touch to discuss this with me, or drop me a follow to get more of my updates in your feed. And that's a wrap. This week's stories all circle the same idea. Platforms are becoming more active participants in what people discover, trust, and ultimately act on. Google wants greater influence over information. OpenAI wants advertising revenue. YouTube wants to decide what content fits your request. Meanwhile, marketers are being reminded that good judgment still matters. You don't control the platforms. You do control how recognizable, trustworthy, and useful your business becomes within them. That's probably time better spent than chasing every new feature that appears. My Digital Trends 2026 report is out now and it is free. If you are a senior marketer, founder, or in the C-suite, this is the read that will put you at the forefront. Grab your copy. The link is in the description. If you want help cutting through the noise and turning change into progress, get in touch via the details in my profile. And in the meantime, don't forget to drop me a lovely follow to get more of my updates in your feed. Cheers!